I just wish every dog walker and every pet sitter in this world would get a dog walking business insurance. And there's several reasons for that. I mean, you're probably watching this video because you have decided to get a business insurance. If you're not 100% sure, just consider this. If a dog in your care eats a chew toy, it costs about $750 to get it extracted out of the stomach. That was one claim. Another one, and I would just give you two more, and that's it. And then I'm going to give you the factors, right? Another one was where a pet sitter was walking the client's dog. The dog got struck by a car. The family held a business liable, $10,000. Pet business insurance paid. Another case, pet sitter was walking the dog. The dog was biting a kid that walked by. The family of the kid held a business liable for negligence, $90,000, because that was a whole court case. If you're still a dog walker or a pet sitter that just says, okay, I'm just going to do this for a few months and then I'm going to get pet sitting insurance once I make it a real business, well, what are you doing right now? Are you doing it illegally? First of all, get with an insurer who actually sells you a pet business insurance, a specialized one. So do not go with State Farm, do not go with Geico, because they will just sell you a regular business liability insurance. Sure, they can talk to you and say, okay, what do you actually do? And then they will look for what they can actually cover. But it might actually come out to more of a cost per year versus if you go with a pet business insurer who knows exactly which potential costs you could actually face as a business. So go with an insurance that is specializing themselves on pet sitting and dog walking. Second, consider their definition of pets when looking at their policy. It really is not so much of a concern if you only take care of small animals, of cats, of dogs. But if you take care, for example, of horses, of like farm animals, they might not be considered as pets and then they might not be covered, or you will have to pay extra. Third, look at the cost of your spouse or your business partner. So you will sign up for that policy, and if you're in business with a business partner or your spouse, they might actually incur extra costs. So there's one pet business insurance that actually charges $90 more for each spouse, but then there are other insurance where it's included. So just make sure that you check that. Fourth, consider the costs of employees. And I do want you to be mindful here. First of all, first point, when you are signing up with a business insurance, it's good for a year. That's what I've experienced. And if you want to change business insurance, you can usually do it after 1 year. I mean, you can do it earlier, but then you would have to pay for 2 business insurances because you won't get the money back. So once you pay that money to that business insurance, you have coverage for a year, but you won't get anything back if you don't need it for the entire year. Same thing also goes with employees. So when you actually pay for an employee on your business insurance, it's good for a year. If the employee leaves after 3 months, you will not get the money back. So you have to be really wise with that. So really research it. I'm going to tell you in a second which pet business insurance we're using. But in 2018, I did a pet sitting and dog walking business insurance comparison chart. I might link it below if I update it again, but it was from 2018, so the numbers are so outdated. I do not want to risk giving you wrong information. And it's really hard to actually work with the pet business insurers because they just don't want to give out that information easily. So it takes some research. But the research from 2018 was that pet care insurance, that's the one we're using, charges $25 per employee, and Pet Sitters Associate $90 per employee. I mean, so you have to think about if you're hiring an employee, he or she doesn't work out in 6 months or within the next 6 months, you're firing them, you're still paying like that $90 for that entire year for that pet sitter. So just be really wise when it comes to that. Even if you don't think you're going to hire in the next 2-3 months, still consider the cost of employees because you might actually hire in 9 months or 8 months. Fifth point, check on the employee dishonesty bond in regard to if a conviction is required. So employee dishonesty bond is also referred to as just bonding as we know it. The employee dishonesty bond works in such a way if something goes missing while any of your employees is in the homes of your clients, the employee dishonesty bond will take care of it, but not if a conviction is required. So in that case, that employee first needs to be convicted in order for that client to actually see some money, and then they will probably just come after your business anyway and recoup the money that way. So make sure conviction is not required. By the way, when I compared these pet business insurers in 2018, I found that the cost of an employee dishonesty bond ranges between $50 and $100 per year, and it does cover all the employees. But one out of those three companies, they needed a conviction. So just make sure when you check the policy. And again, if I decide to update the comparison chart, I will make sure to link it below. 6th point, make sure that you get the animal bailee and veterinary expense reimbursement. I'm just going to read it real quick. Animal bailee is coverage due to loss, death, injury of animals in your care if you are at fault, and the veterinary expense reimbursement is regardless of fault. In 2 of those pet business insurers that are in the US, there was already a minimum coverage within the policy, but 1 out of those 3, it was, well, I don't want to name it in case they actually changed it. You actually have to pay an additional fee in order to have the animal bailee and veterinary expense reimbursement. So just make sure that you check the policy. Regarding the veterinary expense reimbursement, it's just what it sounds like. If an animal in your care gets hurt, you have to take it to the vet. The vet bill, of course, has to be paid once the pet is cared for, and then you will get reimbursed later on from that insurance. 7th point, if you're a dog walker and pet sitter and you decide to take care of the animal in your home, make sure that the limits of pets are not exceeding of what you're actually taking care of in your home. So what I found usually is for doggy daycare, it's about 10 dogs, and for overnight pet care, it's 5 dogs. So that's just really if you take the animals in your home. When I did the comparison chart, I actually found that the pet business insurer that cost the most, they didn't really have any limit on pets. And the one we're using, the pet care insurance, they charged back then $99 per location, and they had a limit on 5 pets per night. Of course, it goes without saying, if you're a dog boarding business only and you have a commercial location, then you will get a specialized dog boarding business insurance. This optional pet daycare and boarding insurance that really is just an add-on to the pet business insurance is really only for pet sitters, dog walkers who open up their own home in order to board or offer daycare to their clients. I hope these factors will help you to find the best insurance for your pet sitting and dog walking business. If you have any questions, just pop them down below and I will try to answer them as much as I possibly can. If you're not convinced yet that you actually need a pet care insurance, I hope you're watching this video so I can make my case. And please dream big and go towards your dream step by step. I will see you in the next video. Bye.